If I was saying this, bruh, I'm never getting a job. Your toes are out, bruh. You don't know what can happen.
Ghosts. I feel like if ghosts existed, evil people would just not be able to thrive. And we see that evil people live forever, especially if they're white evil. White evil people have no expiration date.
So that's why you don't believe in ghosts.
Yeah. that's the reason why.
That's a theory. That's a theory. So you don't believe in anything beyond the physical?
No, I do.
Okay.
I just don't believe in ghosts the way we normally speak about them.
Yeah, that's what you mean. Like the ghost that just slams the doors unnecessarily. That I'm like, why are you doing that? You know, it's a bit. But you do believe in more beyond this.
Yeah, because like I believe energy, right? What is that thing? Energy doesn't die, it just like transforms itself or whatever. So from a physics perspective, I guess, it would make sense that our energy gets transformed into something else.
Okay, but I do have a ghost story. So I don't know, maybe you might be able to explain it. So
I am not someone that you should listen to.
You have a podcast.
No, I'm saying that you're saying that I can explain it. I can't.
You can't, to be fair.
I can't.
I might have just been sleepwalking. I don't know what it was. Though,
hey, don't make my words doubt. Like, don't doubt yourself. Believe in yourself. Believe in your story.
I don't want to believe there's a ghost in my apartment. Though.
Okay, tell me the story. And I have a story too.
Okay, fine.
But anyways, yeah.
So basically, I moved to this apartment in Manchester like last year. So for like 3 months, I just know, I'm not like a very OCD kind of person, right? But I do tend to remember where I place stuff. Do you know what I'm saying? And then sometimes I'll wake up and I notice certain things are not in the place I would expect it to be. So I'm thinking to myself, am I just forgetting that I didn't put it there? Or do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like there was a time where I went to the kitchen and I have like these shot glasses. And I always put like the 3 shot glasses facing up. Like I know I always do that. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I would wash them, place them facing up.
Okay.
And then one day I go and one of them was facing down. Now pause, right? If all 3 were facing down, I'd have been like, fair enough. I put all 3 facing down. Why would I just put one facing up? And it did, like, I know it's a small thing, but it made no sense to me. Do you know what I'm saying? And then there was a time I went to the living room. I have like this house plant, right? And it was like tipped over. Right? But it's not, because to be fair, it's not like on a stable base. So you could say maybe like the wind or something. But I'm like, I would have, if I saw it tipped over, I would have picked it up. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm like, why would I have just left it tipped over? Do you know what I'm saying? And then like I started noticing all this. Maybe, and the thing is, once you start to notice, you start to notice more.
Yeah.
Because it's like a self-fulfilling, like, oh, now I'm looking at every single thing. Like I was traveling. Right, this one was so scary. Right, I was traveling. No, for real. I was traveling, and then because I already had the background of this weird things happening. Right,
paranormal activity in your flat.
So I'm like, I'm gonna take pictures of every single thing in my flat. I probably should. I have the pictures of my phone, so I take pictures of everything. Right, because I was like, I need to prove to myself like this is not crazy. I travel, I come back, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go into this flat right now and have a look at every single thing.
Did you stop before putting the key in? And you're like, okay, this is the moment of truth.
Before I put the key in, I'm like, this is the moment of truth, right? I literally said that. So I put the key in and I'm trying to like unlock the door and it's not unlocking. I'm like, what the hell? Why is it not unlocking, right? And then I opened the door and the door was open. So I started...
The door wasn't locked.
It wasn't locked. So I started thinking to myself, I was traveling. Will I forget to lock the door? Do you know what I mean? But then I'm like, oh, maybe I was so focused on the paranormal activity that I forgot to lock the damn door. Do you know what I'm saying? Like the whole thing just set me for like a whole loop. I was like, why the hell is the door open? So I'm thinking, okay, maybe I was boggled, right? So I get into the apartment and nothing's missing. Like my bank card is on the table. Everything is exactly where it needs to be. The pictures matched, but then the door was open. So now I'm like, is this ghost messing with me, right? Like, what is going on?
How long were you away for?
Like 3 days.
Okay, that's not that bad. I thought you were going to say like 3 weeks. 3 weeks of just unlocked door.
Yeah, I was like, what's going on here? But then over time, I started to, like the less I started to focus on it, then I stopped noticing stuff.
These things, yeah.
So I'm like, okay, was it just I was hyper sensitive to these things or was there, because I still live there. It doesn't... nothing, nothing's happened. You know what I'm saying?
I get it.
I don't know how you would explain.
Like I said, I am no one with explanations.
Well, ask the comments then, I guess.
I will. I have a story. I still stand by what I said. I don't believe in ghosts. I believe that your mind will make up whatever it is that you want to make up.
100%.
And I still stand on that, even with these stories.
Okay.
I don't have an explanation for this. This is why when you ask, explain that, I can't.
Okay.
I don't have an explanation for it. I have a lot of ghost stories. My grandma on my mom's side, she used to think that I had some sort of psychic powers going on. My brother thinks I'm schizophrenic. So, you know, it's like
that camera. Yo.
So the first time where I was like, okay, I should probably tell someone about this because I might actually have schizophrenia. So I used to play volleyball in high school and middle school, but then in high school I kind of stopped because everyone was just taller than me. So I was like, and every summer we used to go on this retreat.
Okay.
It was like 3 days of the entire team from all of the different classes or whatever.
Okay.
And we were just training, like a bonding exercise, basically, like 3 days. I know exactly where we go. We used to go to a place called São Pedro do Sul in Portugal. And so I left. I said goodbye to my family. I was like, right, guys, I'm out. Peace. Adios.
Yeah.
Ciao, ciao. When I left, I remember seeing one of my neighbors. I think she lived on the third floor.
Okay.
She had a dog and a cat. Her cat was always by the balcony.
Okay.
So like it's a common memory that I have of leaving the apartment, leaving the building, and looking back at her balcony and seeing her cat there. It's just a common memory that I have because it happened so many times. And another thing she used to do is there was a park right in front of my house.
Okay.
And she used to take her dog on walks like multiple times a day. Majority, like when I used to leave for school and come back, I would see her at both times.
Yeah.
So again, a common memory that I have.
Okay. Can I just pause you real quick?
Yeah,
I think when you're editing this, you should put some spooky music in the background. As you're saying, I'm hearing ooh, you know, some kind of, there we go.
Yeah, I will. So then after the 3 days, I come back and I saw my neighbor without a dog, but I saw my neighbor just in the park. And I was like, hi. I just waved and like she just waved back. And I went back inside my house. Everything's fine. I came back on a Sunday.
Yeah.
And I was having dinner with my family.
Okay.
And this is important because like my parents used to work a lot. So the only day in the week where we would all, like me, my siblings and both my parents have like food together was Sunday.
Okay.
Where like it was basically a time to talk about our day, essentially, because it was the only time in the week where everyone would be together. So they were asking me about the retreat, all of that stuff, blah, 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 blah. And then I said, oh, by the way, when I came back, I saw our neighbor at the park. She didn't have her dog though, which I thought was weird. But anyway, she was there just walking. Everyone stops. Everyone put their forks, knives down. Everyone just starts looking at me. And my mom was like, what do you mean? And I was like, what do you mean what I mean? I mean what I said. I saw our neighbor at the park and I waved at her. She waved at me. You know what my mom said? That's impossible. And I was like, why is it impossible? She's like, she died when you left. She literally died when you went to the retreat. And I was like, you know what? Okay. And then, listen, hey, to be fair, maybe it was just someone else that looked like my neighbor.
Yeah.
And I just didn't see it properly. And that's fine. That could be the explanation for this.
Yeah.
I have another story, though.
Whoa. Okay. Yo.
So the second story is when I moved to the UK, the first student accommodation I had.
Oh, okay.
So when I moved to the UK, I moved with like no money. I literally told my parents, I was like, hey, listen, Christmas this year, I'm not in because I can't, unless you want to pay for my stuff, don't count me in because I can't fly back. And so I was alone in that student accommodation. So did you live in a university-owned accommodation before?
Yeah, I did in first year studying.
Okay. So during Christmas, like during holidays where people know that there won't be a lot of people in the building, they tell you how many people are on site so that you know, so that it's not weird. Yeah. And especially if there's like only women, security, there's like 24-hour security where I was staying, they would tell you this just so that you know exactly who you should be seeing. And if you see someone that doesn't belong there, just even if you like are not sure, it's better to be safe than sorry. So just come up to security and talk to us. So I knew, right, that in my building complex, there was like 4 people, me, 3 other people. I knew where they were.
Locked
I
it.
knew everything. I was working at a hospitality job when I was in uni. That's why I used to not go back home during Christmas, because during Christmas you would get paid double. So I come back after the longest shift of my life, and I was like, I'm ready to see Mad Men. I'm ready to sleep.
Yo, the time.
It's the ghost.
Oh man, I don't think that's on camera, by the way. But what?
Wow. It's okay. And yeah, so I come back, and I have this ritual. Everywhere I go, every time I walk inside of a place, I will immediately lock the door.
Okay.
I think that's just the thing of like being a woman and living alone.
Yeah.
Just immediately you walk in, you lock the door. Nothing. Actually, my routine is I walk in, I lock the door, take my shoes off, wash my hands.
Okay.
Wherever space I walk in, I always do this. So I locked the door, but this time I left my key on the door. I usually take the key out, but this time I left it there. I had a shower, had some food, blah blah. I was super sleepy. I was like, I have no energy to live, and I had men on the back.
Okay.
When I laid in my bed, I could hear like footsteps. Also, the halls have like sensors for the light, right? So if someone walks in, the light turns on. Yeah. Tell me why I see this light turning on. And I was like, oh, it's probably the security guy. He's walking around doing something. That's fine. But then my room was the first one on the hall, and the kitchen was like in the middle. Yeah. So if someone wanted to go to the kitchen and is coming through the entrance, they had to walk past my room. That's why I thought it was security, because it's like the steps kept going all the way to the end of the hall. So at the end of the hall, there was the electric panel or whatever that's called. So yeah, I thought it was security. And then the steps stop at the end. And I was just like, so he's just there? Okay, cool, doesn't matter. But then the lights go off and I didn't hear the door close. So I'm just like, what is this man doing? Like, this is so crazy. But I was too tired to kind of investigate. And then I hear steps back. But the light didn't turn on this time. So I'm just like, bro, what is going on here?
Yo.
And the moment, mind you, this time I was super sleepy, but the moment that I really woke up, the steps stopped in front of my door, and I could kind of see the doorknob move around. Okay.
I'm just being real. That to me, this is more than just a ghost, though. This sounds like someone's trying to break in.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought. And I was like, I was too tired. No survival skills. I literally stood up and I was like, bro, I'm trying to sleep. What do you want? Who does that? I remember standing up and like having no sense of like safety or nothing, and just literally opening the door because I was like, I'm too tired to deal with this. What the fuck do you want? And then when I opened the door, there was no one there. And I was like, bro, what is this? And then I went to sleep. Right, because I was too tired to think about this. And then I woke up the next day going like, that was crazy.
That's intense. So like, I feel like you've described the whole plot of a movie here. And that was just an evening for you. Like, what the hell?
I was too tired, bro. I was too tired to go to sleep. But the craziest thing about the story is the fact that I went to open the door. Yeah. That's really crazy.
The ghost could have come in.
The ghost, the person could have come in and killed me.
True. But you never really think about stuff like that, though. Like, safe, like when you're younger, anyway. So you just living your life like willy-nilly. But that's intense. Like, you're saying it as a joke now, but you could have been on a documentary. Like, oh, this person, you know. So
yeah, we don't need more trauma. Anyways,
no story's over.
So today's guest for round 2.
I didn't need to know it's round 2.
Though. Okay, that's fine. You're right. Take it back. So my guest today is a professional yapper, big yapper. And we love that about you. Honestly, it's great.
You're going to start with that?
It's my favorite characteristic about you, the fact that you're a big yapper.
Fair enough, I'll own it.
A musician, a rapper, a lyricist, an events organizer. Honestly, just a multifaceted talent house. That's how I would describe you first, but I didn't want to give you the big compliment before.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, you know what? I prefer that because if you ended it with yapper, that would have been a bit. Something.
Yeah. See. Nice. Anyways, can I get some clapping for Yusuf, please? Woo-hoo.
I'll clap for myself as well. Don't worry, I do that.
As you should.
I do that sometimes.
How are you feeling?
Feeling good. Excited. A bit hungry, but
yeah,
that's just me constantly these days. Anyways,
is it all the training?
Yeah, I've been going to the gym.
Hey.
I'm not trying to, but I am going to the gym. It is what it is. It is what it
I
is.
love that for you. What did you train today?
I did like full body, but it was more like no weight, so body weights. Does that make sense? So like press ups, pull ups, squats, stuff like that.
Have you started doing weighted pull-ups?
Yes, I do it. Like, but that's when I do full back day.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
So today I'll do a full body. Not too crazy,
I have a question.
Go on.
This might be chaotic. But anyways, I have a question.
Yeah.
Is there ever an exercise that when you see a woman do, you're like, yeah, this is it? No? Is that crazy? Okay. So what I'm trying to say is I like gym, right? I like gym. So like whenever I walk into gym, like if I already have a crush on someone, right? And I walk into gym and I see them do weighted chin up. No.
Weighted pull-ups?
No. Dips. That's the word. Did you see the whenever I see them do either weighted dips or pull-ups, I'm like, yeah.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
No. I'm just saying.
That's
That's my exercise.
I didn't realize that was a common thing girls do though.
It's just my thing. I don't know about y'all. Let me know in the comments. What do you agree with this, Naomi? Yeah?
I have more X though, not gonna lie.
Okay. We'll save that for another episode. But you need to remember that I like gym. Yeah. I just like seeing people train. Not in a sexual, weird, observational way. I like this.
I'm happy you're the one saying all of this. If I was saying this, bruh, I'm never getting a job. So fair enough.
So I was just wondering if maybe you have one. Not in a weird way.
I go to the gym, mind my business. I avoid cameras. I'm not trying to go viral. I just go in there. Doing me.
Okay.
But this is the experience for guys in the gym these days. You don't even want to look too, you just want to because you start looking left and right before you know it, you're on a TikTok. Do you know what I'm saying? So I just go in and just focus. So.
Okay, I'm not saying that I go there to observe people. I'm just saying that if I walk in and I see it, it's cool.
Yeah, but I'm saying I can't say that.
Yes, you can. Why? Yes, you can. If you walk in and you see something, you're like, oh, acknowledge. That's cool, and then you move on. I'm not telling you to be a creep.
Yeah, fair enough. I just wouldn't take the risk. I'll just rather.
That's fair. Okay.
I'd rather focus on me.
Okay. So we have a segment called Pillow Talk.
Okay.
And it's basically.
This is what she got me. But
I think it fits you.
Fair enough. I appreciate it. I like the style.
So Pillow Talk is basically a segment where I ask you if you like rapid fire style questions, and you need to give me a really quick answer. I don't want you to think too much.
Fair enough.
I want you to be truthful, So whatever comes up, just say it out loud.
Sure thing.
Okay. Do you sleep with socks on or off?
On. Always on.
Right, same.
Like, why would you? Sorry, but come on, you have to have your socks on. It's just, you feel complete, you feel covered, you feel secure,
Yeah.
Your toes are out, bruh. You don't know what can happen, It could just be a psychological.
What could happen?
I don't know, but I just feel exposed. You know what I'm saying?
The ghost in your flat would lick your toes.
Don't put that in my head, man. Jeez. But definitely socks on.
Okay. Same. Anyways, white noise or total silence when you're going to sleep?
White noise. 100%.
Really?
I can't sleep in silence. I always have to have like a podcast on in the background, a YouTube video, music, something. Some people find it annoying, but I just, always have to have something.
Are you scared of being alone with your thoughts?
Yes, my thoughts get really, really they escalate really quickly. Do you know what I'm saying? I try to just distract myself 90% of the time.
Damn, so you can't just live in your own head.
I do, because that's when I get creative. But I have to channel, I can't let it go too wild. You know what I'm saying? So it's more of a coping mechanism.
Okay, trauma, isn't it? What was the last thing you Googled?
Last thing I Googled, the location of this place.
Even though I sent you a screenshot of this?
You did. Okay. Google was moving mad as well, to be fair, but that was definitely the last thing.
Okay. What's your zombie apocalypse survival kit?
I'm not going to survive. I'll just let it eat me.
Whoa. Why are you admitting defeat so quick?
I say this. I have this argument with people. I know this is a very specific question, but I have this argument with people all the time. If the whole world is being taken over by zombies, what's the point? Just let it happen, innit? Just accept your fate. Why am I going to try and survive for a year? Only to get eaten. You know what I'm saying?
What if you have people that you love? This is because you live alone?
You
have no one to care about. You don't care about your family? You don't want
I
to go
do,
back to
but
your mom's
the
heart?
whole idea is the world. There's a zombie apocalypse, right? So it's like the world is being overrun by zombies. Do you know what I'm saying?
This Is Us? Is that the name of the show? No.
Have you seen
Last of Us.
That's all. Yeah, so
They make it
for me, I always but I think it's easier to just
to die.
Yeah, just
So you always choose the easy route.
not all the time, but in that specific situation, I've always said I'm not trying to do too much. I'm just gonna be like, yeah, let's call it a day, bro. We've had a good life. I've had good memories. I'm gonna cherish those ones.
You don't want to try to take a zombie down?
Why? Yo, this is. I feel like zombie movies have gassed people up into thinking like there's zombies everywhere. Like you're gonna have to. Where you gonna get food? Wait, come on. You're gonna. You guys are doing too much at this point. Like I'm gonna call it a day.
So, wow. Okay. Anyways, next
You
question.
said rapid fire.
You're right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
just being honest.
Sorry.
Like-
This is, and you should. You know what? I like the honesty. I appreciate that. Okay. So you would choose death. Cool.
Yeah.
If you could hunt someone as a ghost, who would it be?
Whew, if I could hunt someone as a ghost, I'll probably say. Okay, I'll say my brother. Just in a funny way, just to like mess with him a bit. It's not gonna be too crazy. Like, do you know what I'm saying? I'll just like mess around with his art or something. He doesn't like it. You know, just the way you annoy, the way you annoy your sibling. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's just the way I can feel a bit closer to him. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I'm no longer here, so I might as well just. I'm sure he'll find it funny as well.
Yeah. You'll never let him know peace, basically.
No, he will know peace. It will just be minor inconveniences. Not
okay,
into,
okay.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I
Mhm.
might just mess around, put his paintbrush somewhere else. You know what I'm saying?
Your brother's a painter?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah. Well, come from a very artistic family, to be fair. My mom paints as well.
Do you paint too?
Yeah.
I saw your drawings, actually.
I'm more like digital these days because I never really developed my, like... Because when we were all younger, we used to physical paint with brushes and everything. But over time, my brother developed that side of him.
Mm-hmm.
But I moved towards, like, digital, like, animations and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So I'm not as good as painting anymore.
That is so cool.
There we go.
I'm trying to think what me and my family used to do together. Oh, other than like singing and church, but that's church
Yeah, but it's
activities.
still,
That doesn't
yeah, that's
count.
what I'm saying. It's still a talent, like, and it's funny how like these genes are passed on through generations. You know, like
Yeah.
I'm sure again, your mom, you sing with your mom and your dad, everybody.
Yeah. So obviously, there's always that conversation about nurture versus nature.
Yeah.
My dad is the artist of the family, really, the first one at least.
Okay.
And then obviously, if you grow up in an environment where that is like nurtured,
Yeah.
then you'll grow into it. Also, kids just repeat whatever it is that they see.
Yeah, because I feel like the genes are naturally inside of you, and then it just needs to be developed upon. So if you don't develop
Yeah.
on it, then yeah, some people might have really artistic parents and they're
Mhm.
not as. But if you, like you said, nurture it, it's a beautiful thing. To be fair, I do kind of compare paintings with my dad and my mom and stuff like that. So
That's so cool. I want to see some of those paintings. Can I see them? Can we?
yeah, we could just show you afterwards. But yeah, there we go.
Okay, cool. And last
Sorry, my
question.
brother. I'm sorry for hunting you, by the way, but just
No, it's okay. I'll appreciate it.
like,
What are your thoughts on African aunties?
ooh, African aunties. I'll be real with you. I like to have a argument with African aunties, not just for my amusement. You know what I'm saying? Like just to see how they get really riled up about the most like basic thing. I'll say the story quickly. I remember I went to Nigeria in December. I was having a conversation with one of my aunties, and I'm like, "Oh, I don't want to get married till I'm 40." She's like, "What do you mean?" Like she starts getting like, she's like, "What? I want to have grand." I'm like, what does that have to do with me? I'm obviously like just messing with her. Do you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? But she got like really emotionally like invested in the fact that I said I don't want to get married till I'm 40. I just like how passionate they get. So there we go. That's
So you
it.
like to disrupt everyone's peace. Your brother, your auntie.
Yeah, it's just
Okay.
I just be laughing sometimes, right? I just be like
Yeah.
having a good time, you know. But I eventually told her I was joking, you know. I said to her, I was like,
Are you joking though? Or did you say that you like tell to shut them up?
you know, if you think I'm bad, you should meet my brother, right? Because my brother, I would eventually like when the argument starts to get she gets too passionate, I would eventually tell her that, yeah, I'm just joking, don't worry, I'm gonna listen to you. But my brother will continue, like take it to the full extent. But he genuinely believes what he believes. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he will stand by it. But whenever I see them get too emotional, I'm like, I don't want to do too much. You know, let's just bring it down. But my brother, it will see all the way until they just give up.
I like that. And I'm the same. Last episode, one of my bedtime thoughts, which we will get into it,
Yeah.
was we need to start telling people that their advice sucks.
Yeah.
And my example was from a conversation I had with one of my aunties,
Yeah.
where they were giving me really bad advice.
Yeah.
And it's like, I told them what I wanted.
Yeah.
I told them what I wanted to achieve.
Yeah.
And then they gave me an advice after hearing what I wanted. And I was like, ma'am,
ma'am.
like I just told you what I want. And this is the advice that you're giving me. You're an up. Because your advice, if I followed it, it would put me further away from what I want.
Yeah.
And yet here you are giving this to me. And every time I'm about to say something crazy to one of my family members,
Yeah.
specifically aunties or uncles, to be honest,
Yeah.
I look at my mom first.
Okay.
So if she goes like, then I know I can say whatever I want. When I'm saying too much, she goes like,
Yeah.
and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I can totally see you being the wild card, just like saying it as it is, just being like not really caring. But I think from my perspective, sometimes or African perspective, there's a bit of a respect thing where you're not supposed to, anyone who's older than you can't tell them they're wrong. They'll be like,
Yeah.
oh, what do you know? You're a kid. So I try to just play the balance. But like I said, you'd probably get along well with my brother because he doesn't care. Like,
I told my sister once in front of my parents, while they were arguing, that some things in life are worth getting slapped for. And then my mom looked at me and she was like,
that should be the title of this. You should like put that somewhere in your bio. Some things in life are worth getting slapped for.
Yeah.
That is
I was like, if you believe in what you're saying,
yeah, say it, man.
say it.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. Bedtime thoughts. So that's a segment that we have on the podcast where we basically talk about things that we thought of before going to bed, before going to sleep the night before. Do you want me to go first?
Oh, yeah, you can go first.
Okay. Vegetables.
Okay.
Okay.
Wow. Not what I was expecting. There you go.
Why is it that things that are good for us don't always taste or feel good? And I had this thought after having some cauliflower rice.
Okay.
Cauliflower rice is the worst thing I've ever had.
Okay.
No amount of seasoning can save cauliflower rice. I'm sorry.
Controversial.
I just can't. I don't understand why people will choose to have it.
Yeah.
But that made me think like, this tastes disgusting, but this is so good for me. Cauliflower has so many vitamins and minerals and stuff. And fiber content as well and all of that stuff. And it's just so good for my digestive system, which means it's good for my cells, which means it's good for me.
Yeah.
And yet it tastes like trash.
Whew.
Why is it that good things?
That's heavy. That's what I'm saying. Like, is that a
Right?
metaphor for life? It's like, why is it that good things is never like easy? It's not the easy option. You have to like actively force yourself to pick like the good thing. Did you reach a conclusion before you went to bed, or did you just think about it and go, you know what, it's too much, I'm going to bed?
No, I was just like thinking, it started with the cauliflower rice,
Yeah.
but then I was thinking about other things like working out, for example. I'm trying to unbig my back. And in the last few weeks, that has not been working. It has not. Like Friday night,
Yeah.
I went out,
Okay.
see Kiba. Shout out to you, Kiba.
Okay.
I had alcohol. It was a vibe. I never drink, by the way. I never
Yeah.
drink. But then obviously when you go out at night and you drink alcohol, you have to eat.
Yeah. And then
And it's not like I could get
everything
cauliflower
is closed,
rice.
So at that point, it's all bullshit. Like,
So then I was like, damn, I spent so much time like training and
yeah.
a 45 minutes or 40 minutes on a Stairmasters. That's like what, 400, 450, maybe 500 calories, depends on how fast you go. I could inhale 500 calories just like that.
Yeah, it's just, I think in life it's honestly the same with everything. Like, to get good things, you have to discipline yourself. You have to work hard. You have to do so much to get something good.
Yeah.
And it takes something small to lose it all. Do you know what I'm saying? It's always easier to like go even with like your job, you can work 10 years to get high up in your career or whatever. One mistake and all of that is down the window, Money as well. It takes a long time to make money, but to lose money, like, it's dead simple. So I guess you just have to like accept that this is what it is and just try to just do what you need to do. But cauliflower, I've never really tried, to be fair, so I don't have any opinion in that in particular. But
I think you should try it. Not done by me,
yeah,
but just done by someone who claims it's good.
okay.
Do you like cauliflower? Naomi can make it for you then.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
You just roped her into that.
She agreed. So, okay, cool.
Fair enough. Interesting though. But,
What are your bedtime thoughts?
just bedtime thoughts in general, or last night specific bedtime thoughts.
Whatever you think it's interesting and you want to share.
Last night I had like you know when you're like about to sleep,
Hmm.
but you're like in that middle ground between sleep and being awake. So I was already thinking about stuff already during the day, and it kind of transitioned into a dream, but it was still like a thought. Does that make
Okay.
sense? Because I was kind of in this middle ground. It was weird, and then like it was like I saw there was like something like gold, right? I'm going somewhere with this.
I believe you. Go on, go
There
on.
was something like gold dangling up in the sky, and then I was kind of floating, and I really wanted to have it, right? I wanted to get what was there, but I kind of felt paralyzed to like just raise my hand and like collect it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And it was there, and in my head, I'm like, Yusuf, just get it, just go take it. But for some reason, I literally couldn't move. And then like I wake up, and I'm like, oh, I wake up, and I realize it was like a short nap. It was like a 10-minute nap. Do you know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like a full sleep. And I'm like, oh, what was that all about? And then that feeling of feeling paralyzed, like having something you want to take,
Mm-hmm.
but not being able to like just reach out and get it.
Right.
And I'm always like, is this my subconscious trying to tell me something here? Does that make sense? Where it's like sometimes like there's nothing stopping you, but it's just in your head you're kind of paralyzed from doing what it is you need to do. Like what you want is right there in front of you. Go get it. But still, I just wasn't able to do it.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my, I don't know, bedtime thoughts. Like, okay, is this something in my life right now that I'm supposed to be reaching out to get that I'm not doing? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And why is it that I'm not doing it? Like that, why was I like in my head? It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's like in my head, I'm like, I wanna do this, but I'm just not moving. I'm just standing still. You know what I'm saying? So I thought about it. I got a bit scared for a bit. I went to the kitchen. I had some yogurt, and then I went back to bed.
Is yogurt your midnight snack?
It was in the fridge. It was just there. I was hungry, like I said.
Wait, your yogurt is not in the fridge? What does that mean?
Like it's in the fridge. It was there. It was
Oh, okay. I was-
Yeah.
okay.
It happened to be in the fridge. I wasn't particularly thinking this is. I
Okay,
just
okay,
had to
okay.
eat something, and then I went back to bed. But I've been thinking about it even till today. Like, damn, like that felt so real. You know, it just felt like physically, like it didn't feel like a dream. It felt like reality. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Is there parallels between this and maybe something that you're trying to do in life now?
See, that's what I was thinking, right? So that's why I was like, maybe this is my subconscious, like, telling me something. Do you know what I'm saying? Because I try to think, is there anything in particular? Because I think I'm the kind of guy that if I have a goal or a dream or like an ambition,
Mm-hmm.
I tend to take actions or steps towards doing it, like naturally, you know. And then we can talk about it more because I have like a whole project out. Like, anything that comes in my mind to do, I tend to, even if I don't execute it to the best of my ability, I still try. Like I would always try. But it feels like this thing that I was dreaming or thinking about, it feels like something I'm not even conscious of. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like there's something missing that I don't even know about, but I need. Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And then
You really are an artist.
Oh, there you go.
No, sorry. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah.
the symbolism behind all of this. Like,
Yeah,
that's such an artist thing to do. You can't just have a normal dream
Yeah.
where you're just walking and
No.
eating bread.
Is it a black nothing? I don't dream, or there's some weird like manifestation of reality going on in my head. That's why I say I like background noise because if I start
see,
like thinking,
yeah.
yeah, but I don't know. I feel like there's something.
Watch out the noise of.
Oh yeah, sorry. I do feel like there's something. I'm if like somebody said something. It's like I feel like there's something I'm missing something
Mhm.
that's super obvious and everybody knows it's super obvious, but they feel it's too obvious to tell me. Does that make sense?
Why do you think that realizing what's missing needs to come from someone else and not from you?
Because I don't know what it is.
And you think someone else would know?
I feel like everybody else knows. It's like, do you ever feel like, I can get to it, but it's like, do you feel like there's something like, something that's so obvious, right? That everyone just assumes everyone knows, right? So
Yeah.
nobody talks about it because they just think it's obvious.
Yeah.
But then you don't know.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. This reminds me of this is not at the
Yeah.
same level, but it reminds me of the there's a name for it, but like when something happens big, everyone just assumes that someone called 911, but in reality no one did.
Yeah.
But everyone assumes that someone did because it's so obvious
Yeah.
that there's no way that step hasn't been
Like
taken
you
yet.
see
But I
10
get
people then like
Yeah.
nobody's called 911, right? But you're like, surely
someone will.
Someone-
Not me, but someone. Yeah.
yeah, so I don't know. Sometimes I just feel like I'm missing a bit of information, just something that I just don't know where to find, you know? And I just hope it comes when it comes, but
Well, I hope he comes soon.
it could get a bit frustrating sometimes.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Tell me more about your project.
Project, yeah, that's good.
You have a coming up project. Ooh, is it music related? Can I guess? No, actually, no. Let's not do this. Just tell me about the project.
Okay, so it's music related. Let's just get
Mhm.
that mystery out of the way.
Okay.
So it's an EP. I've been working on it since September.
hmm
It's called For Those Who Care to Listen, right? And there's a whole backstory to why it's been called For Those Who Care to Listen. Because I do feel like sometimes I try to create what I think people want to hear.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of natural with most artists because you do want that validation, like people to be like, drop some fire emojis in your comments and like,
Not just that. You need the engagement and you need money.
yeah, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but anytime I was going through a phase when I was creating, I'll be asking myself, how will people want to hear this? It's a bit slow, you know, it's a bit emotional. Why am I being so emotional? You know, like it's like I start questioning myself, but the more I kept going with the project, the more those are the type of songs that kept coming to me, and I'm like I went for walks. I was like, Yusuf, what are you doing here? Like this is very niche. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, well, who ultimately determines what's good and what isn't? Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, fair enough. I might not even think it's good, you know, like, but maybe somebody out there feels it's good. And if it's just on my laptop, if it's just here, I don't even give that a chance.
I don't think you would put out anything that you don't think it's good. So
It's-
you do think it's good.
Yeah, it's a slight difference, right? I feel like I'll tell you the project again for those who care to listen. For me, I'll say it's more of a project you listen to in the morning. Like it's more of a morning on your way to work, on your way to the gym, or like nighttime right before bed. It's not necessarily like a party, you know, the most mass consumable thing. Does that make sense? So for me, I'm always like, well, I can make this a bit more consumable to everybody. Do you know what I'm saying? So like I would make a certain songs. Like I had this song at the beginning and it didn't have any drums in it, right? Just instrumental and it's just me singing. And in my head, I'm like, I like it as it is. But I'm like, maybe if I just add some drums, it will give it a bit more of a flair to it. Do you know what I'm saying? But then I'm like, well, should I just put it out without the drums though? Because that's how I made it. You see what I'm saying? So I like it without the drums, but somewhere in my head, I feel like, oh, I can improve this by adding drums. Do you know what I mean?
So what was the final
The
decision?
final result didn't have the drums.
Okay.
And I just put it out. But then that's why it's called For Those Who Care to Listen. So again, if anybody's listening to this, it's not going to be for everybody. I'm fully aware of that. Do you know what I mean? But-
Nothing is for everybody.
So that's what I thought.
The only thing is for everybody is water, and there's still some people who don't like it.
There we go. That's another quote for the bio. But yeah, I just thought to myself, look, put it out. If one person listens to this and says, oh, I relate to this song spoke to me or whatever, like it's worth it. And the reason why I actually decided to put it out in the version that it was in is one of my friends. So I met this guy busking in York, right? You know, when I used to organize shows, I used to reach out for artists. And this guy was busking. Shyla Franklin is his name, right? Incredible, like rapping, singing. I'm like, what? So I go speak to him after, whatever. He's like, yeah, I do music, whatever. I'm like, okay, do you have any no YouTube, no nothing. Just, he's like, I do music and it's for me. And I'm like, that's really interesting, right? So I get a bit close to him and he shows me how he's working on this project. And he's so intentional with everything he does, like the visuals, like even the album art. He was like in a bathtub. Anyways.
Where is he sharing all of this?
Exactly. So I'm like, what are you doing? Like, why? He's like, oh, this EP, I need to change the drums slightly. Like, he was and I'm like, you don't even put any of this out, right? Like, I didn't understand the concept. Anyways, a couple months later, he messages me. He's like, oh yeah, I listened to what you said and I decided to put this project out. But he puts it out on SoundCloud, right? Doesn't put any link in his bio, just puts it on SoundCloud and just go. Like, if you saw his Instagram or his social media presence, you would never know this guy has a whole project out. This was like 5-6 years ago. I promise you that the project has like 100, 200 views. Like if you on SoundCloud, you can see. I listen to this project at least once every 6 months because it literally speaks to me. Like every single song, the order, the arrange, like the whole thing is insane, right? For me, nobody else might know about it, but what that project does for me, the inspiration it gives me, that is, you can't replace that. Does that make sense? And I think he's quite I realize he's quite a perfectionist, which is why he doesn't try to share his music as much with the world.
What does he do?
He raps, he sings.
No, I mean outside of that, how does he make money?
He works. He busks. He still busks. This guy just, I can say he would just go, honestly, this guy is a myth. He goes to town with his guitar or his drum, or he would just play like a backing track and just rap and just and then go home. Like,
send me this after. I want to have
I'll send you Shyla Franklin. We have a song together. That's the only song. Yeah, me and him have Moments Before Summer. Like, how did that song come about? I had the song already. I had my verse, so I needed him to produce on it, right? So I go to the studio. He's like, oh yeah. Then I play the beat. He's like, oh, I wrote something to this beat because it was a beat off YouTube.
Okay.
I'm like, when did you write? He's like, yeah, I wrote. You never put it out. He's like, yeah, it's on my note. I wrote so, and I do my verse, right? Do like 2 takes, he hops in the booth, puts his headphones in, 1 take. Spits craziest verse I've ever heard. And just, casually mixes it.
Did you record this? Do you have the BTS of this?
No, I don't have. It was a studio in York. Honestly, that day I was blown away. Like, and he just does his verse. We even did a video together. Like, honestly, he's one of the most talented people I've ever met. But again, the project or what he does, even if it's not going to get the most commercial success, the people that listen to it, what it means to them, it means to them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Hence why with this one, I just thought, I'm just going to put it out. Whether
I'm
it
glad
gets
he did
50
that.
views or like 1,000, like at least I know where. Similar thing. So,
okay.
like again, this is the kind of things I think about. So my previous project was called Purple Pill, right? Again, this was during pandemic times. That's the first EP body of work I've ever put out. Again, I put it out. It was a bit more commercial, but I still had that like storytelling, introspective side to it. This was pandemic, right? Couple years later, I started feeling a bit tired of the whole music thing, right? Because I'm like,
is that when you started posting more on Instagram?
Yeah,
more like
probably.
talking videos.
Yeah. I got a bit tired of the whole music thing. So, because the way you Spotify and Apple Music work, you have to pay like a yearly subscription.
Yeah.
To keep your music up there. So I didn't pay the subscription this year. I was like, there's no point. £60. I'm not paying that for like, an EP that no one's gonna listen to. Do you know what I'm saying? Just to keep all the songs there. So I didn't pay it. So like 6 months go by, all my songs are taken off like Spotify. I didn't care because I'd moved on. I get this random DM. It's like, hey mate, I just wanted to say I noticed your song Summertime Madness is no longer on Spotify. It's still on YouTube and I do listen to it on YouTube, but I would really appreciate it if you put the song back up. That song has got me through some really tough times.
Is this from someone you know or from?
I don't know this guy. I can show you the DM. I took a screenshot of the DMs. Like, this song is I can send it as like, this song is taking me through some really tough times. Like, I just noticed it's no longer on there and I thought I'd reach out and tell you. Who is this guy from where? This guy went out of his way to find my Instagram to send that to me. And that made me put the song. And again, I was like, oh yeah, I really appreciate it. Then I put it back up. Again, I didn't reach out to him. And he messages me. I noticed it's back. That's right. This guy's invested. I noticed it's back up. Thank you very much.
That's the power that music has. Like, do you know how you get inspired from listening to other people?
Yeah.
Other people will also get inspired from listening to you. And it's not just music. You can inspire people through something as simple as a conversation.
That's what I'm saying. Because you think, because that song Summertime Madness has like 300 views. I'm thinking half of that is probably him. Do you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like, even if you feel like, what will people like this? Or even with this podcast, like if 1 or even 2 people listen to it and something changes their entire life, then surely it's worth putting it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there's
even if no one was to listen to it, if it's something that you have created, it's worth being put out. I don't know how you think about ideas, but the way I don't think that anyone owes an idea. I think ideas just get like given to specific vessels. We're just a vessel for this idea. And if we don't work on it, the idea will move on and move on to another vessel, someone that will respect the idea and put it out.
You see what you just said? That's so real. That's so real because I've had that happen several times, even with like the videos I do where I have an idea for a video. Maybe I'm tired. I'm like, I don't want to execute this. Well, you just.
Yeah.
And then I go on Instagram and so I'm like, how has somebody else done this? Like, it's like I literally had that idea. Somebody else is doing it, having a blast, like, and I'm like, yeah, ideas, like you said, are just vessels, like they transfer. And then once it comes to you, that's my new approach now. Like whenever I think of something, even if I'm in the middle of doing something else, I have to stop, either write it down or just do it then and then,
Yeah.
Pick up my headphones. If I have like a melody in my head, pick up my laptop, put my headphones in, sing it, because if you never do it then as it's coming to you, sometimes you never actually do it. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's
Like,
true.
if I never put this project out, I might never put it out.
So is the project out already?
Yes, so it came out on last week Friday.
Okay, cool. How many tracks does the EP have?
It's 6 songs, but 2 of them are like more like interludes. They're more just like,
Love an interlude.
yeah.
Timbaland is the reason why I love interludes so much, to be honest.
There you go. You
We
study
are
the greats.
pardon?
I said you study the greats. So.
Timbaland is my guy. Also, Timbaland and Pharrell, but specifically Timbaland, he really showed me that a producer can really make an artist. I'm not gonna say more to this. I feel like you already know where I'm going with it. Right? So we're running out of time. And before we go, I don't know if you remember, but me and you had a conversation about this previously, where you basically said that you know everything there is to know about Nigeria.
Aye. Try me.
So we have
embarrassing.
Niger trivia going on.
Okay.
Mind you, I don't know anything. Well, yeah, I'm not Nigerian.
Okay.
I'm Angolan. So I relied heavily on ChatGPT for this. So let's go. Are you ready?
Yeah, try me. Make it easy though. Like
The questions are done. I don't know.
okay, fair enough. Go on, let's go.
Okay, so question 1. What city is known as the center of excellence in Nigeria? That's easy.
Shit, it sounds easy, right? But this was like on a quiz, or it used to be on our exams back in school. And I'm from Center of Excellence. It's either Abuja or Lagos.
You gotta pick one.
I'll go with Abuja.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
You're wrong. According to ChatGPT, it's actually Lagos. By the way, there's a Lagos in Portugal.
I know.
But it's pronounced Lagos.
Yeah. And a lot of people get confused about it too. When you say you're from Lagos, which one? That's kind of embarrassing.
Who gets confused?
People do. You'd be surprised.
White people.
There's a
Hey, just wanted to. Is it?
Yeah. There was a TikTok about it. Like somebody ended up flying to like Lagos, Nigeria instead of anyway.
Right. I'm gonna be honest. I say a lot of dumb stuff. I do dumb. We're dumb. Humans are dumb. That is so stupid. That is so stupid.
I think it might have been staged though, but it was a whole TikTok that went viral.
Anyways, question number 2.
Oh my God, Yusuf, come on.
Which Nigerian artist holds the record for the most BET award wins?
How am I supposed to know this though?
Sorry. You
Okay,
said.
okay. Let's use my power of deduction. BET Awards. The most. So we could just go off who's been doing music the longest in terms of legacy. So we're talking Davido, Burna Boy, or Wizkid. It's one of the 3.
Okay.
Right? I feel like majority of Burna Boy's music career, he wasn't as recognized. So he only recently started getting recognized a lot. So deduction-wise, I probably remove Burna Boy from that list. But the way you're looking at me now...
I'm not doing anything. I'm just looking at you, just waiting for an answer.
So I should remove Burna Boy. So it's either Davido or Wizkid. Wizkid has songs with Drake. He's had quite more international collaborations, I'll say, than Davido. But Davido feels like more of a BET guy. Do you know what I'm saying? Wizkid feels more like a Grammy guy.
I don't want to interject in your thought process right now. So.
I shall go with Wizkid.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
You're right.
Trust me. You see me, yeah. The way never mind. That was good. That was intense to be fair.
That was really good, though.
The pause.
That was really good. I was trying not to show any facial expressions.
Yeah, fair enough.
Question number 3. What's the name of the Nigerian dish made from deep fried bean batter, often enjoyed as a street food?
Moi moi.
Is that your final answer?
I mean, that's the way. So yeah, moi moi. Yeah.
You're wrong.
What is it?
Akara?
Akara. You see, I knew it was either moi moi or akara, right? Do you know what I'm saying? But they're both beans, right? They're both blended beans, but it just depends on which one you picked. But
Listen.
akara is you have it with like pap in the morning.
It's
But my Nigerians will know it's a Chat GPT.
Mm.
Is that where you got the answer
Yeah,
from?
yeah.
Yeah, it depends which one you prefer. So
You're wrong.
I'm
So
not
we're
wrong.
gonna
I'm not
move on.
having that. I'm not having it. In the comment section, let her know.
I had Akara in London for the first time,
Akara.
but I don't know Akara.
Akara. You got
Akara.
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 Yeah, akara.
Akara.
Yeah. No, you say akara. Akara.
Akara.
Locked in. There we
Cool.
go.
And but I don't know how traditional it was because it was in London,
Yeah.
central London, so it probably wasn't. But it was nice, really good.
Yeah.
Anyways, question number 4. Nigeria.
Moi moi is not fried though. Sorry, my bad. Moi moi is boiled. So
You see?
yeah, you're right. You said deep fried.
I did
I was focused on the beans.
deep
part.
fried,
Yeah.
deep fried bean batter.
Yeah, it's akara. Actually, yeah, that's true.
Okay. Question number 4. I kind of saw the answer of this. I'm gonna change this question.
Okay, go on.
When did Nigeria gain independence from the British colonizers?
1960.
Period.
Ah,
Okay.
come on. That's
Yeah.
2 out of 2.
The question was different. But anyways, cool. Last question. Who was the first Nigerian author to win the Nobel Prize in literature?
Tough one. It's either Chinua Achebe
Mm.
or Wole Soyinka,
Mm.
right? Those are the 2 options.
Mm.
Chinua Achebe book Things Fall Apart, incredible. I think he might have won because that was a literal or a prize for that book. But I don't know if it's that specific one. Nobel? Did you say a Nobel Prize?
Yeah, do you want me to read the question again?
Nobel Prize, right?
But do you want me to read the question again?
Yeah, read it again.
Okay. Who was the first Nigerian author to win the Nobel Prize in literature?
It's either Chinua Achebe or Wole Soyinka. Chinua Achebe is before his era was before Wole Soyinka, so I'll go with Chinua Achebe.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
You're wrong.
What is it?
It's Wole Soyinka.
I knew. Anyways, I said it though, so it's in the.
I asked, is this your final answer?
Technically.
And you said?
Yeah, it's probably Wole. But Chinua Achebe, I feel like he's older, and so that's why I just thought he probably won it first. But
Yeah, that makes sense. So
Yeah.
maybe the year, I could have given you a clue, to be honest.
Yeah.
Maybe that would have happened. But
it was
the
one
year,
of the 2. There would be one of the 2, anyways.
I don't know if this helps, but the year where he won was 1986.
Yeah, so that
Would have that made you change your answer if you know the date?
Yes, because I think what would have happened, because Wole Soyinka was later on.
Uh-huh.
I think when Chinua Achebe was writing, Nigerian literature wasn't recognized as
Mm.
much because he was one of the pioneers. So now that I think about it, yeah, you're right, because he was more post, like just immediately after colonial times.
Mhm.
So I think works of literature then wouldn't have been well recognized as when it was when Wole Soyinka did
Yeah.
his thing. So yeah, but it would have been one of the 2. Nigerian writers. If you know Chimamanda Adichie,
Yep.
so we
Fun story.
Yeah.
When I discovered what feminism was, I actually learned it from reading one of her books.
which book?
I don't know.
Fair enough.
But I can tell you why did I don't know. I read it, the Portuguese translation.
Yeah.
I didn't read the English version.
English. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
like very. I like what she stands for. And her books are quite interesting. I like her writing style as well. But she
Yeah.
also says she was inspired by Chinua Achebe.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of making her want to write.
She has a new book out now.
Yeah. Dream Count. I
Yeah.
read that. I don't want to be too controversial, right?
Don't, because I haven't read it yet. So we can have a conversation about this when I read the book.
I've read that one as well.
Okay. So even though you lost this game, I still
Lost.
think
I
that you
I
know a
think
lot.
People watching
Okay.
would recognize the fact that I had to think things through.
Can I do my outro?
It's my ego there. Sorry, I felt.
No, I'm just kidding. Even though you did lose this game,
I don't
No.
like the word lose. I
but
think-
you did.
Ah,
I'm sorry.
fair enough. I need to accept.
I still think that you know a lot about Nigeria. So maybe I can give you a second try.
I appreciate it.
Okay. So maybe you're not like you don't know everything yet. But like if I was to rate you from like 0 to 100, I would maybe give a 65. There's still room there for improvement. Because you know you got the questions wrong. You got the questions.
I don't like the 65. But fair enough.
Okay, first.
I'll do better next time.
Well, Yusuf, it's really nice having you.
Honestly, times
Big yapper. I
Yeah.
love it. Sorry.
You know I am a Let me know. Let me not even try to. Yeah, I do talk a lot. Like so.
Yeah, definitely want to have you on the pod again. And before we go, just how we end the episodes is I like to ask people what is something that they want to achieve this year. And then once it gets to the end of the year, I'm going to have you here again.
Yeah.
and you're going to talk about that thing. So
okay, this one sounds small. Like you
That's
might
fine.
not think it's a major deal, but I do plan on celebrating my birthday. It's crazy. I never celebrate my birthday. I never do anything for my birthday. I've just never wanted it. And every year, so I'm gonna do something. Okay, so if you have to do something, you have to celebrate yourself. You have to, And every year I don't. Okay, so it sounds like a small thing, but to me, it's a big, big thing. So I've told myself again this year, Yusuf, your birthday, you have to do something. Try and celebrate. And then I doubt I'm gonna do it, but
When's your birthday?
August 1st. So I doubt I'm gonna do it.
Let me add that to my calendar to make sure that we don't forget about this.
But
August 1st.
Yeah, it's just more of a personal goal of mine anyway. So
Okay. I have a lot of questions, but I won't ask
there's
them on
bigger
camera.
goals, but I just thought that one.
Hey, no, don't
That's
do
not
that.
my only goal, by the way.
That's if it's a big change and you haven't done it and there's a reason behind it, then it is a big goal.
Yes, definitely is.
Well, thank you for sharing that. I'll be in your DMs on August 1st. Actually, I'll be there before. Be like, hey, your birthday is coming up. I just want you to know that I when I come on Instagram on August 1st, I better see you do things. You see the way you're always outside? I want to see you outside on that day too.
We'll see.
Okay. Well, thanks so much for being here. Can we clap for Yusuf? Yay!
For myself.
And thanks for watching the Pyjamas Club. Completely forgot to actually talk about the podcast. And I'll see you next week.
I really like that.